There we are. Look at that.
Hello,
It might
everybody.
even work. Who knows?
We never know for sure.
We never know for sure, but let's try this. It's time for episode number 302. What does this button do? Live from our residential cruise ship aboard the Villa Vie Odyssey.
And that's our topic today is life aboard the Villa Vie Odyssey.
So, say a prayer. It's an educational show about smartphones, travel, and technology with us geeks on tour. We are the geeks, right? But first, there's a quick tip. We have a tip on what?
On how we watch a Netflix movie using our iPad or phone, but watching it on the big screen TV.
We're recording.
Hi, I'm Chris Gould with Geeks on Tour, and together with my husband Jim, we live on a residential cruise ship called the Villa Vie Odyssey. Since this cabin is our home, we've customized it. I have a computer workstation and I sit here a lot. But every once in a while, I want to watch a movie. So let's take a look at the rest of the room. And you will end up seeing, sometimes I just look out the window. That's entertainment enough. We call that our travel channel. But we do have a brand new TV. Every room has this and it's great. But it doesn't have Netflix built in. And I want to watch a Netflix movie. So I want to show you how we do it. I have the Netflix app on my iPad. And I'll connect the iPad to the TV with an HDMI cable. So here's one end of the HDMI cable. I need to plug it in to the TV. There are 3 HDMIs. I'm putting it into the one called HDMI 3. Okay, now I need to plug the other end into my iPad. But my iPad doesn't have an HDMI port. Therefore, you need an adapter. I plug the HDMI into the adapter, and then the adapter, this old iPad happens to be a lightning port. So this is an HDMI to lightning adapter. And I plug that in to that side. Now, you just have to tell the TV that you want to watch that HDMI 3 port. So I need the TV's remote and input. And then you see HDMI 3, 1, and 2. 3 is what I want, and I select it. Now when I turn on the iPad, whatever is on the iPad is on the TV. And I can go to Netflix. And I can play a movie. I like it. Now, what if you have a newer iPad with the USB-C connector? Well, you just need a different adapter. You need a HDMI to USB-C. And I can even do that with just my iPhone or my Android Samsung phone. Now, this does not work with all TVs and all devices, so you have to try it and see if it works for you. But that's how we watch movies in our cruise ship cabin.
Pretty cool, huh?
Way cool to be able to just lay in bed and watch a movie on the big screen and being able to control it with the device that you already know how to use. You know, you just need the Netflix app on your iPhone or iPad. Now, so the key to this is the cables, right?
The cables have to be the right ones. So if, yeah.
You need an HDMI cable that's HDMI on both ends. And here we are giving you a link here. The QR code will take you to Amazon with an affiliate link for us. I mean, $9, let's say, we probably get 50 cents or something like that. But it's just to give you the idea of what exactly we're talking about with the HDMI cable. And then with the Lightning to HDMI. Now, this one was $50. I also saw some for $12. What do you think?
Well, they do have ones for $12. However, I am not so sure that that would be the best way to go because they're not all created equal. The $50 one comes from Apple, and it's pretty much guaranteed it's going to work. The ones from the other companies, maybe not so much. So your mileage may vary.
Your mileage may vary. And then here's the one for the USB-C. And also something we've discovered, this works great with my Samsung phone, my Galaxy S25 Ultra. You just plug the C into the Samsung, plug the HDMI into the other end, and whatever's on your Samsung. And I have the Netflix app and the Amazon Prime Movies app on my Samsung. But your Pixel?
Doesn't work at all. My Pixel just will not connect using the C connector on the bottom of my Pixel phone.
So there are lots of other ways to watch movies and YouTube and all that on your TV. You can get an Amazon Fire Stick or a Google TV or an Apple TV. But we just think it's so easy to use the device you already know and just let it display on the TV.
Cool. Okay, but we are on a ship dependent on Starlink for internet. So if it cuts out, we are here in port in where are we?
San Diego.
We're in San Diego. So we have good 5G, and I have my hotspot ready to go in case it craps out. But sometimes when we're at sea, we're only on Starlink, and wait a few minutes or a little bit. We're recording this whole thing, so it'll be available later. And sometimes we're interrupted by the captain's message over the loudspeaker.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll let you know if that happens. But anyhow, I'm Jim.
And I'm Chris.
And we are Geeks on Tour. And do you think your smartphone is smarter than you? And do you have questions about your Android or your Apple device or the cloud or this technology? And how do you learn about this?
Well, we are geeks, also known as propeller heads. But we are geeks who teach. We think the best way to learn is on a bite-sized basis, on a regular basis, so we came up with this show. Now, today is a little bit different, though. We're going to be a lot more informal. We expect a lot of questions from you guys. We're just going to talk about life aboard this residential cruise ship.
Okay. And so, where are we now?
Well, we have been at sea for 7 days. We were in Hawaii for a week before that, and then we were at sea for 7 days. So I like sea days.
Oh yeah,
but
you get a lot done.
I've had my fill for a little while.
In the last 3 weeks, we've been at sea for 2 of those 3. So,
but just this morning we pulled into San Diego, and it was really foggy when we pulled in.
Yeah. Looked like San Francisco.
Right, but the fog is burned off. That's how it works, and it's a beautiful sunny day. And we are docked right next
to the Midway. It's a aircraft carrier. Actually, it's a museum now, and it's really right on the next dock over. So it's a short walk over. There's all kinds of stuff here on the pier area. Uh-oh. Okay. All right. We got a problem here. I'll be right back.
We want to thank you to our premium members Premium means that you something to get our extras, and we appreciate it. It's you that make our work possible.
Okay, Judy's in Fresno. She made it all the way back to the West Coast.
And we'll be seeing her next Sunday. She's going to come on board and maybe live here with us.
That would be so cool.
Yeah.
Deerfield Beach, cool. Hilton Head. And, oh, my sister, happy Father's Day to you, Debbie. I love you so much. And let's see, Moline, Quad Cities, cool. And Gail from Orlando. Mike Ungerman, what's he have to say? I can't read
Says that there's another couple that just started a YouTube channel from here. Yeah, tell us the names there. We'll make sure to add them to our list of fellow residents with YouTube channels.
Yeah, okay. Detlef's here from Berlin.
Where it's almost
Monday. Thanks for staying up late.
Really? Hey, Detlef.
Kauai, we were just there. And Maurice is on Gmail from Florida. He travels a lot by cruise ship as well. Parabéns from Coimbra, Portugal. Okay. And my buddy Jimmy from LBI. It's great to see all of you. Thanks so much for coming by. I want to remind people about the Backstage Pass. That's a members only Zoom meeting right after this show. We call this a show. And you get a link from the email that Chris sent out earlier today. Or you can go to geeksontour.com, the member login page there, and click on the link and you will find the Zoom after this show. All right.
Okay.
What else is going on?
So, well, I did see one other person I have to say hello to, the I Am a Sea Mistress. That's Lynn. And happy to see you here, Lynn.
Yeah, we spent some time here in San Diego with Lynn.
Last time we were on the Midway was with you.
Oh, and George is here. We hope to see him in just a couple of weeks, right?
In Victoria.
All right.
Does your ship life make you lazy?
I started out lazy.
No, well, that's true. Lazy is our natural situation. But actually, there's so much to do that I feel like we're scrambling to get our normal Geeks on Tour work done. And we talk about watching movies. We haven't watched one whole movie for the whole 2 months that we've been on board. We don't watch the TV at all. There is always something to do, and we still have our Geeks on Tour work. So no, I don't think we're being lazy.
Not too lazy. Yeah. So Judy says, yeah, the Fire Stick. A lot of people are using the Fire Stick, and one of the other residents on board here has just made a video on how to minimize your data use and still have a good connection on your Fire Stick.
Yeah.
So
we'll put a link to that. I have one.
You already have one
in the show. Yes.
Okay.
We will talk about that.
Okay. He's got other stuff to do.
Oh, you can watch us later. You
Absolutely.
know that, Jerry.
Thanks a lot. All right. Show us the room and its size.
We will.
Yeah. We will? Okay. So those are unavailable. Is that a problem or yours? It's probably a YouTube issue. Those subtitles and closed captions will be available later on. That has nothing to do with us.
Mike Ungerman served on Midway. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
We will definitely, we plan on going over there and visiting again. We've done it before. So, yeah. And Southern California, it's not as in the 90s here. It's a little cooler than that, but it's still beautiful. It's in the 70s.
Michael Crowley, a high school fellow graduate. Yeah, hello, Michael. But you live here in San Diego, but you're not here. Oh well. See you at the next Novapalooza.
Okay. Wow, look at all these people. Buda.
We will definitely be aboard for the week. We have no plans to leave the ship, except for maybe a few days when we're in Japan. But this is home.
This is home. And Debbie Divers, always talking about something. Let's see. Jolin, sort of a question. I am hearing bits about upcoming major redesign, Google Photos. Oh, it's always doing something.
Always, yeah. But there's supposed to be a major redesign of the editing feature. I'm not going to talk about it until I see it, and I haven't seen it yet. So
one more, and then we can get on to this. Is the dining room food different from the buffet? Yes and no. There are a lot of crossover things, so, the chef special will probably be on both sides. But, yeah.
Okay. So, our home. Look at that.
The little one.
It's a small ship, and we like that size. That means it can go to ports that the big ones can't go to, and we don't overwhelm the town when we're in port. I like that. You can feel the difference when you are on this ship. When we first came aboard for our Try Before You Buy week, it felt different right away. People aren't there to party, although we do have parties. We have some pretty great
some
parties.
Really good parties.
And there aren't kids all over the place playing, although we do have a couple of families on board with some teenagers who are in school online and a couple of younger kids too.
Yeah, they're a joy.
Yes.
They socialize well, and yeah.
There's no lines, no crowds, no casino.
No.
And lots of friendly people. I mean, that's what takes up most of our time, is being sociable and having conversations.
Yeah, we go to lunch or dinner and, we eat in half an hour or whatever. And then we're there for another hour just chatting with different people. They'll stop by our table or we'll stop by their table and we'll just check people out. It is a really wonderful community here on board.
The people.
Yeah, there they are. There's a bunch of them.
Well, but not that many.
No.
I mean, I think there's about 250 residents on board right now. And then there's another couple hundred crew.
Right.
But 250 residents, and there can possibly go up to 900, but that's if every room had double occupancy, and that's never going to happen.
No, there are a lot of solos on board, so people want to do a cabin, and it's really cool. While we're here, a lot of people are on just today as visitors. So, and some other folks have come back to the ship who were on before. Some people are brand new to the ship and they're just getting their orientation and that kind of stuff. So it's really pretty neat.
Yeah, I think they said there were 130 visitors scheduled.
Just today, yeah.
So, I mean,
and we're here for 3 days.
That nearly doubles the population of the ship, right?
Yeah,
there.
we made sure that we went up to the dining room early to make sure that we had a place and could get back to you guys.
So our cabin, people say, is the cabin different since it's a residential cruise ship? But no, I think that's how they kept it affordable. They kept the rooms the same as it was when this is an old ship. It used to be a regular cruise ship. It got converted to residential, but without really changing the room. So our room has no balcony. It's 140 square feet. And the first question everybody asks, so we'll deal with it right up front, is what does it cost? We paid $170,000 up front to buy 15 years of this cabin. And then we pay $5,000 a month, what they call maintenance fee. But it covers everything.
Yes. Laundry is covered, so twice a week they collect our laundry and they bring it back either later that day or the following day. All of our breakfast, lunch, and dinner, we get 2 wines or 2 beers with lunch and dinner.
No, champagne with breakfast.
No. But everything is included. And
Wi-Fi?
The Wi-Fi is really good, as you can probably see right now. And
a gym.
Entertainment, the gym is there. There's all kinds of great stuff going on.
Now, that's our room and what we paid, but there are different kinds of rooms and there are different ways that you can pay to be on board. So I want to take you to the website, to the Villa Vie website. It is villavieresidences.com. And if you go to ships and the Villa Vie Odyssey, then scroll down to deck plans and villas. That's what they call our rooms, villas. I have a hard time saying that this is a villa. Then view deck plans and available villas. And then you pick a deck. So we are on deck 4, and you can see our cabin. We have a window. We're on the outside. And
on the port side.
Now it's gray, so meaning it's reserved. It's not available. You go to a green one and you click on it, and you can see that the purchase price is $170 and the monthly maintenance fee is $5,000 for double occupancy. If you're going to be one person, you can change that to one person and see that it goes to $39.99. But now I want to take you to deck 3 and a room there that is available, because I want to show you how you can come aboard with other ways of doing it. I'm looking for 307. Okay, so this is an inside cabin, meaning there's no windows. But notice that it says $223 per day. So you don't have to buy and stay here forever. You can rent per day, or better yet, take a segment. So this room is available for the 3-month segment called Japan, Philippines. And for 3 months, single occupancy, it would be $21,000. And that includes everything that is included for us. If you go to 2 people, $26,000 for 3 months of living on a cruise ship.
Not bad.
I think that's pretty amazing. But then if you go up to deck 7 and you get a balcony cabin, that will cost you $400,000 purchase price and $9,000 a month. So that's how you can find out for yourself if you're interested in what might be available and how much it would cost. Okay.
All right. What do we got?
So, no questions yet?
I don't see anything for questions. Jolyn says, what does she say? I can't read that. There we go. Communities in our lives are what life is all about. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think when we lived in our condo, unless somebody invited us to dinner or we invited some people over for dinner for us, we didn't socialize much. To here, it's constant socializing. But when you get tired of it, you can always just come to your room. It can be
quiet.
It's not overwhelming.
You don't get off to check the area? Well, we're here for 3 days, so it won't be a problem. We might even get off after the Zoom meeting and take a walk around.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to getting off the ship today or tomorrow.
Yeah, we've been on this ship for
7 days.
Yeah.
Now, the week before, we were in Hawaii, and if you follow our photo album, you saw all sorts of gorgeous photos.
We did some cool stuff in Hawaii.
We hiked up Diamond Head. We did the road to Hana. We took a helicopter ride over Kilauea Volcano.
Went swimming with sea lions.
No, that was in Mexico, yeah.
God, it all runs together. It's amazing. All right.
Well, do you need a visa at every port or just your passport?
As Americans, we have our American passport, and that works everywhere, nearly. There are a couple of places and you can even, with our passport, you can go to China for a certain amount of time, depending on how, there's all kinds of ways that you have to figure it out, though. So it's not an absolute, but places where we have been and are going in the near future, our American passports have been fine.
Yeah, we haven't needed a visa yet. And when we do, my understanding is that it will be easy to do just online as an
E-visas, yeah.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be a problem.
Molly Hall says, so you can rent for one night on board? Well, no, I don't think they ever actually rent. It's priced per night, but generally you book a whole segment like that 3 months. But people do rent for a week or two.
Yeah.
It is possible.
Yeah. And they have a try before you buy where you can come on for a week. That's how we got started, right?
Yep. Yep. Okay. So now we just have some photos we're going to show you, and we'll talk a little bit. And if you have any questions, please do. So that's our home. And this, if you've ever been on a cruise, this should look familiar. You know, that's our room that he's just going into there. And this is when we first moved in. We had shipped several boxes of stuff ahead of time, and it was all here waiting for us.
Yeah.
So we had to figure out what to do with it. And one of the things, let me make this full screen. One of the things that you have to do, because there is no storage rooms, so everything we own has to fit in our room. People ask, where do you put your dive gear? It's under the bed. And you make that work by using these bed risers, which you bought ahead of time.
Yeah, I had them shipped to the ship.
So between the couple of closets, the couple of drawers, and under the bed, that's everything we own.
And then some. Yeah, we even had some art shipped to the ship. So the piece of art that was on the wall there came down, and we put up our friend's painting up there. And we have some other hangings and things around the room. So we've really decorated it nicely. It is home.
It is home, and it's very comfy. Well, you'll see in a minute here. So there was artwork on the wall when we moved in. We had them take that away and put ours up. So that weaving was made by my good friend Erin, and I've had it for years and years and years. It goes with me everywhere. And then that artwork is by our good friend Marie York, and I just love it. And our little pelican stuffed animal, he happened to get tossed on the windowsill when we were putting things. And we've decided that's the perfect spot for her.
She usually wears one of these hats.
I had to take it back from her.
And there we are at work.
And Jim found this little folding desk. I mean, what Jim is sitting at is the built-in furniture that comes in the cabin.
Like the vanity, yeah.
But what I am sitting at, we had them take away the comfy chair, and he bought this folding desk on Amazon, and it's just perfect. We are very happy. We spend a lot more time in the room than I thought we would.
And we have the whole ship. Pretty much, you know, we can go anywhere. They have a living room. It's called the Morning Light Lounge, and there's a bar there. There's the pool deck up there. There's another bar up there. The pools are open, and we haven't been up there for a while. It was really kind of chilly and dark on the way over, so from Hawaii. So we didn't.
Well, we go up most every afternoon for a group trivia.
Oh yeah, and there's other entertainment. There are some really good dancers on board, and there's all kinds of fun stuff going on. Always something going on.
But when we were home, we were always in our office. I mean, we honestly are still working a little bit, and we can work here just as well as we did. Notice that we both have headsets on in this photo, so that when our computer is playing some sound, we're not bothering the other. So we can sit here and work all the time.
Yep.
But whenever we want to, we can go upstairs, take a walk around the deck, play trivia with other people. And that's the picture of looking towards our window and our artwork on the two walls, and then a bunch of photos over the window.
Right.
And just this morning?
Yesterday.
Yes, just yesterday, we asked for some further customization. So they sent a a worker to come in, and he drilled holes.
So I can run cables a lot easier. That's the reason for that. And they put the cabinet.
And this cabinet, which we had custom made for our RV many years ago and brought with us on the ship, was just up with magnets.
Yeah.
Now it's bolted into the wall. So
yeah,
that's
Chris was
nice.
worried about it falling on her head. I wasn't worried. But now it's better.
Okay.
The food.
The food.
Oh my goodness. Fresh fruit every day.
Every morning we have fresh food. I'm so used to that now.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Okay.
But it also changes all the time.
I need to go on a diet.
They make special dishes different every day, really.
Oh, yeah.
Now, the only pictures you'll see from us is of the buffet. I like eating buffet style.
We have dined in the Thistle, so if we decide that we want to have a nice, quieter dinner, maybe with another couple, we'll
where
do
you
it
sit
down
down
there.
and get served. I mean, there is a sit-down restaurant also, but we rarely go there.
No.
Looks like we have a few questions.
All right, let's see. Where are we? Up here somewhere.
What are the medical facilities like? I will get there. There's one doctor and 2 nurses, and there is a examining room and I will talk about that a little bit. There's basic health services on board. Anything beyond that, you're going to need to get off.
But they help you arrange all of that stuff. They'll make sure that you're taken care of, and they're really good at it. So, recent sea days, any concerns about being burned out with a number of ports? No.
Well, yeah. I mean, by the time we were finished with our week in Hawaii, yes, I was burned. In fact, our last stop, Hilo, we didn't have anything planned. We finally splurged on a helicopter ride.
That was cool.
But we were there for 2 full days, and we had absolutely nothing planned. We just walked around for the second day. And yeah, that's what I like, a balance of ports and sea days. And I think that is going to be our norm.
That's going to be, it'll be coming up here real soon. We just had a couple of, it's a long way from Hawaii to the mainland and vice versa. Now we'll have another long week when we leave Alaska next month and go down to Japan. So, but in between here, we'll be in port a couple of days, sometimes only 1 day, but then there'll be a sea day or 2 sea days in between. So it's a nice balance with occasional long treks across the sea. So it's not a problem. Let's see. We have that one.
Okay. Yeah.
The Samsung seems to be leaving the notice on the display for a long time afterwards. Is there a time setting to make the notice shorter on the S25?
Sorry, don't know. I might look it up. See what I can find.
Where are we today?
Yeah, that happens every morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where are we?
Yeah, we have the travel channel right there, our big window.
Yeah, we ask our pelican, where are we, Penny?
Gail wants to know about health insurance coverage since Medicare is not covered internationally and most travel health insurance is for a limited amount of time. Well, if it's, we keep our Medicare and our very good supplement. So if we have a serious issue, we will go back to the U.S. and get it taken care of.
My research showed that if you look up travel health insurance, some companies will say, sure, we'll cover you elsewhere in the world. Where is it you're going to be? Well, no, we're going to be everywhere. Some other companies said, okay, we'll cover you worldwide if you're under 65.
We're not.
Which we are not. So bottom line for us, as he said, we've kept our Medicare and our supplement, but worldwide, we're basically self-insured. So,
and in case of a real problem, we'll come back to the States and get it taken care of. So,
Okay, so back to the food.
Always back to the food.
The buffet has a veranda where you can go sit outside on nice weather days.
And the grill is out there as well, so they have hot dogs and hamburgers and specials for dinner.
Or a romantic nighttime.
Ooh.
The coffee.
Yeah, this is included. You get the fancy coffees. A lot of cruise ships make you pay extra for this.
Cappuccino, just push a button. My favorite button.
What does this button do?
What does this button do?
What do you got there?
That's a waffle station covered with fresh fruit.
Oh.
They make waffles and pan. I only had this once. Just once.
So far.
Right, so far.
All right.
And then the people. I think this was our first night aboard because this is Randy and Kit.
Cassingham from This Is True and Residential Cruising. And they're off the ship right now. They left in Hawaii and they'll come back on in Victoria, I believe, or is the plan. So, so people come and go, but these are the folks who are basically responsible for us being on this ship.
Yep, it was reading their website, residentialcruising.com, that made us come aboard. And I like this picture just to show there are tables for 2, there are tables for 4, there are tables for 6. So just pick one depending on how sociable you feel.
Right.
If you're the first people at a 4 or a 6, others will join you. Or if you see people and you want to sit with them, you're always welcome. It's fun.
It is fun.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh, don't do that.
Yeah, okay, so play that one.
Dancing.
That's the dance.
Yeah.
Okay. That's just to show that, yes, we do party on this.
That was at a wedding, though.
That was a wedding.
We had a wedding on board.
People who met on board, they did not know each other when they came to the ship as solos.
They were solos in Belfast. And they met while they were waiting for the ship to get underway and fell
we're
in
so
love.
happy that we got to be here.
Oh, yeah. They were off the ship for a little bit, and now they're back on the ship. So we get to see John and Angie. That's great.
And here, I just want you, the great people include the crew. This is Chris. And he left the ship, but he will be coming back in Japan, I think.
Okay.
So
there are a lot of folks, a lot of the servers, a lot of the crew on right now are from the Philippines.
Yeah, but he's from Indonesia. Chris is from Indonesia.
Right.
And I took a picture of these two this morning because I think these are two of the best. Probably, I think that because they do some of what we do. Basha on the left there keeps a blog about the journey.
Ocean View is the name of the blog.
And Eddie on the right has a YouTube channel where he teaches. And if you want to learn more, so if you scan that code, or later I'll show you how you can look up his site on our website. That will take you to Eddie's YouTube channel. And that will take you to Basha's Ocean View blog. And they're both just great.
Cool people.
Very cool people.
She's a neuroscientist. She has a
Yeah.
PhD doctorate.
Now these two are troublemakers.
Wayne and Donna.
Yeah, we've had so much fun chatting with them. Even they got us to go e-bike touring in Mazatlan.
I made a video of that.
Right. Yep.
It's not on here, though, is
Not
it?
on here. No.
Oh, okay.
No.
But you can find it.
That's longer. And then this is just to show that, you're just so sociable here. You eat and then you still can't leave.
Yeah, these guys wanted some information about how to use their iPhones, and we know somebody that can do that.
They may have convinced me to schedule a workshop on board here sometimes.
And so we shall.
And this shows how we gather for speakers and for port talks.
Yeah.
We have birthday parties. Happy birthday, Star.
Too much fun.
That's a birthday party.
Our captain, Captain Val, he is an amazing guy. He's really personable, and that's Kit, and this is one of our speakers corner. Regularly we have a speakers corner where residents or crew can get up, and this was an interview of the captain, and great guy, he really is.
Okay, and this is Andrew and Carolyn from Australia. And we've really enjoyed talking with them, and I am very envious of their cabin. They have one of those
Really?
deck 7 big with a nice balcony.
Yeah.
They opened up their cabin during the cabin crawl.
Yeah.
Looks like maybe we have some questions.
Okay. So let's see if I can change that. Okay, Ryan McKinney, excited about it. He's got a Disney cruise vacation coming up fast. That sounds like fun. We know some people who've done that.
Yeah, we hear good things about the Disney cruises.
Okay, do we have dive tanks under the bed? No, we do not have dive tanks under the bed, nor do we carry weights. It's kind of silly to have that kind of stuff on board.
We have our dive, we have our mask, snorkel, BC, computer,
regulator,
fins.
computers. The important stuff. We leave the heavy stuff. That would be silly.
Well, it also would be dangerous, right? Yeah. Pressurized? No,
Yeah, no.
I don't think so.
Debbie says it looks large in the interior of the Class C motorhome. Yeah.
We're fine
Yeah,
in this
it's
space.
very comfortable. Yeah. Molly, for a week visit, I was told I had to disembark in a different country. Is this true no matter what country you embark or just in the USA? That's a good question. There's this thing called the Jones Act, and it's an anachronism, really, from a while back to protect U.S. shipping, but it's not really needed anymore.
It's still enforced.
But it's still enforced, and yeah, so if you come on in a U.S. port, you cannot disembark in a U.S. port.
You cannot be transported by the ship within the U.S.
unless that ship is flagged in the United States. We're flagged in the Bahamas, so they have those restrictions. That's why the cruises to Bahamas are so popular, because it makes a stop in the Bahamas. You leave from Fort Lauderdale, you go to the Bahamas, you come back to Fort Lauderdale. It's not a problem. But you can't go from Fort Lauderdale to Jacksonville.
And I thought it was just the United States, but now I'm hearing that the same rule, it's a different law, but the same rule applies in Japan.
And a couple of other countries. Brazil was another one. So, yeah, it's all over the place. You have to understand these things, and there's quite a bit of confusion with it, but they figure it out. And, yeah. So, just
Staff, I think.
Okay. Are they social with people who live on the ship? To a certain extent. You can't.
We don't sit at the bar together,
No,
but very friendly, while you're in the restaurant, and
they have their own social stuff, and most of them speak good English, but that's not their first language.
Yeah, most of it's not their first language.
Any issues? Lack of electrical outlets for the two of you? We have plenty of power. I got an extension cord and I ran it across, and some of the rooms have fewer. We have 2, 3, 4 American outlets here, and you can put an extender on it, and 2, 3 of the European outlets. But it varies by room, but you can make it work. It hasn't been a real problem. Okay, any bad C's yet? No bad C's. We've had a little bit of bumpiness or rolling a bit, but no.
We've had C's high enough to make a splash that I see in our window.
Yeah.
But generally, no. Nothing.
On the fourth deck.
Nothing that makes stuff fall off the table, put it that way, yeah.
Well, we did come back one time, and one of my monitors had moved.
Oh, okay.
But no. So you bought for 7 years. Well, actually, we bought for 15. If your situation changes, and it will, can you sell your remaining interest? Yes, you can. There is a buyback from the company, as well as you have this opportunity to sell it on the market if you want. So, and you can rent it out. You can, several people have their own, are sharing a stateroom with other people, and they use it as a vacation room or something like that. So it's all over the place, and it's very flexible. We don't expect to make a whole lot of money out of it after 7 or 15 years, but hey,
it's possible if it gets really popular and supply and demand. But we just plan to be on board for 7 years.
Okay. If you need a haircut, and I do, it's time for a haircut.
Yeah, I wondered what made her ask that.
There is a hairdresser. There's a spa down below, and there, I've had my haircut. She's had her haircut. Yep. We can also get massages. There's a sauna and a steam room and that kind of stuff. And yeah, we can get it done. Some people would rather get it done on shore. There's one guy that another blogger who, if you watch his YouTube channel, he'll be talking about he got his hair cut at, in Mexico a couple of times. So there's all that kind of stuff. Okay.
Welcome to San Diego. Thank you.
Thank you. We're glad to be here. We are having a great time.
We are.
And why didn't you get in touch with us when you were in Hawaii?
Yeah, we missed you just by a few blocks.
Yeah, you were at the Kona Beer Brewery, and we were at the Ola Brewery, and we missed each other. But some folks who did see you at that brewery happened to be at another table. They did come by and say hi and said that Laverne said hello. But that's cool. All right, if you can't disembark in the U.S., how'd you manage with Hawaii? Well, we left from Mexico to go to Hawaii. Now, we're not disembarking. Disembarking means leaving the ship or coming to the ship. We could, we can get off the ship.
It means leaving for overnight, at least overnight, or to a different port.
To a different port.
That's what it means.
If the ship moves, then that's when that stuff kicks in. But it's no problem to get on and off the ship. Cabins have a mini fridge. Yes, they do. They have, like a little dorm fridge, and it'll keep your wine and beer cold if you want to, or, if you want to get a sandwich for later, you can put that in there. But it doesn't have a freezer. Although some people up on the 7th deck do have a full wet bar, but they have 3 cabins. They've bought 3 cabins. They open up some of it. Holly has a sewing room and walk-in Melody. I'm sorry, not Holly. Different people, and some other people have bought 2 cabins side by side or across the hall and use one as a living room and one as a bedroom. And there's all kinds of stuff that you can do. All it takes is money.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Where are we? Ship needs maintenance. Will you be assessed any fees? No additional fees. No, that's all built in. And in fact, the ship will be in dry dock in Singapore next year, and everybody has to get off the ship. Now, the company will reimburse us for a stay or a hotel in Singapore. We may very well just go back to the U.S. or do something else while that is happening. It's all over the place.
Okay, we caught up. Looks like it.
Okay.
So back to
that.
Back to the photos. You might recognize these guys. They have a very popular YouTube channel where they've been talking about their life on the Villa Vie, and they were off the ship for a while. They just came back on today, and I had to grab their
we saw them in the hall.
Chris and Michael.
Oh, they're great.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Okay, and so then the ports. The ports and the excursions. Here we are petting a dolphin. What experiences we're having. Here we are coming into Kauai in Hawaii. Just gorgeous. Here's our entertainment on board. She's fantastic.
Keyboardist, yeah.
Topolobampo, Mexico. Now,
that's fun to say, isn't it?
It is. Topolobampo. This is a small hidden port. In fact, I don't think they've ever had a cruise ship dock there. They rolled out the red carpet for us. Want to play the music one? Play games. Yeah. All right. We have exercise classes, and when it's nice weather, he takes it outside. That is just so cool.
Yeah, that's on the stern of the ship. But there's a nice exercise room there. We have Peloton bikes up there. We have these.
This is the only time we've been on these machines, so we had to take a picture.
You're not supposed to tell them that. We do this every day.
We hope to. One of these days we'll get into doing that. And then that's it for our slideshow, but I still have just a little bit more to tell you about. Medical issues. Okay, so this is a picture of the medical center at one of the examining rooms in the medical center. There's a doctor on board and some basic medications. You know, we've had a couple of broken ankles and stuff that they've patched up and given crutches and stuff. My story, I had a very mild cold. I mean, I had some sniffles. I had a sore throat. I stayed in bed for the day, but because I have a history of asthma, it always turns into a chest cold and I start coughing. And after 7 days of coughing, I said, I think I'll go see the doctor. And it was amazing. Here I am, 72 years old, and he taught me something I did not know. I said, I have a history of asthma, but I don't have asthma hardly at all anymore. And so I don't associate coughing with asthma. I thought I had bronchitis, and I wanted him to give me some antibiotics. And he said, no. After examining me, asking questions, he says, you don't have bronchitis, you just have asthma. I got out my inhaler, took a couple hits, and I felt better already. And then he gave me some prednisone. So they have some basic, and in 3 days, I was all better. Total cost of that visit, $15 for the prednisone. Your first visit with any incident is included, is free. And
after that, it's still really reasonable.
So total cost, $15. The ability to just walk down 2 flights of stairs and see a doctor, priceless. I would never have done that at home because I'm not going to call up, get an appointment for a week and ahead, drive to the doctor, get a prescription, drive. You know what I mean. So it was wonderful. I had a wonderful experience. And I've heard some other stories from people the same. And then, all right, all this stuff about just life on board is wonderful. But, oh, by the way, we're traveling the world.
Look at this map.
So we're right now in San Diego. We're going up the West Coast into Alaska, over to Japan, down to the Philippines, and we end this year in the South Pacific, where therefore we start next year, go around New Zealand, around Australia, up into Southeast Asia and China, back down over to Thailand and India, and we end next year in Sri Lanka. Then the third year, it takes 3.5 years for them to go all the way around. The third year, we are in the Indian Ocean. We go around Africa, spend some time in the Mediterranean, and then, okay, we'll stop back in the U.S. for a short visit.
But we don't plan on being back until 2027.
And I want you to know we've collected all the information on our website. So if you just go to geeksontour.com and click on the button that says Our Cruising Life, then there's all the links. Where the ship is right now, our map of where we've been, their map of where we're going, the itinerary data full every day, our current photo album, our blog, information about renting a cabin for yourself, other residents' blogs. So here is where you can see all the other residents who have either a YouTube channel or a blog. And then the recordings from the Speakers Bureau. And here's our blog. And I hope you follow along with us. We really love it.
Okay. Leslie, more room than in our Road Trek 210.
Absolutely.
They sold it. We still have ours. Maybe this should be your next adventure. Absolutely. Come on board. We'd love to have you, and tell them the geeks sent you. I don't see any other. Oh, right. Yeah. Laverne says she was staying up the island with other friends she met on her world cruise last year, and they like the other bar. Well, they had the Ola Brewery had a great burger. Okay, what's that? Okay, sign up for our free newsletters at geeksontour.com/news. Remember to click subscribe and click on the bell to get notified when we go live and that kind of stuff. It really does help us. Click the thumbs up there too. That'd be great.
We're good with questions.
Well,
I know this wasn't really a teaching lesson today like our shows normally are, but I still have some review questions.
Oh, yeah, she always has questions. Did you learn something? True or false, the only way to live on the Odyssey is to buy a cabin?
False. There's lots of other ways, but we do it all or nothing, so that's what we did.
Okay, how long does it take for the Odyssey to go around the world? 9 months, 18 months, or 3.5 years?
3.5 years.
Oh, boy. And we're just getting started. How many residents are on board usually? Is it 50 to 100, 2 to 250, or 2,000 to 3,000?
Yeah, B, 200 to 250.
And there'll probably be more as more of the cabins sell. Wi-Fi on board is provided by Starlink, Verizon, or Globalstar eSIMs.
A, Starlink. And so far, so good.
Works great. If you want wine with dinner, it'll cost $3 a glass, $7 a glass, or nothing for 2 glasses.
C, nothing for 2 glasses. Lunch and dinner.
Or beer.
Or beer, yeah, wine or beer.
Red or white.
And there are bars if you want. Oh,
cocktails. You can buy as much as you want.
Yeah, and they're reasonable.
And another thing,
$7.
We're allowed to go on shore and bring beer and wine back to the room. And they will charge a corkage fee if you want to drink your own bottle in the restaurant. But for your room, you can, Hennessy's up there have full bar. Lots of stuff.
Lots of residents have full bar in their cabins.
Yeah, not just the hang on to the bars. So Backstage Pass, that's coming up right after this show on the Zoom. And you get the link from geeksontour.com. Chris sent out an email earlier to our premium members. And if you're not a premium member, you can become one at geeksontour.com/join now. I think that's the next slide. Oops.
Okay.
We don't have another slide.
Our webpage, geeksontour.com. You can find everything there.
Okay. So why do people pay $58 a year to join Geeks on
Well,
Tour.
we do have some special perks. Our backstage pass, our private Zoom meetings, answering questions, written notes for our shows. And some people join just to say thank you for all that we do for free.
Right. Okay. Well, that's it for this week. I'm Jim.
I'm Chris.
And we're Geeks on Tour. Thanks for watching. Wait a minute. I have the outro. Here it is. There we go. We're leaving now.
Oh, Judy says mention friends and family. Yes. We can have friends come on board and they only have to pay $35 a night.
As owners.
Yeah. Owners have the ability to get a lower deck inside cabin for friends and family.
Is soda included?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we don't drink soda.
I don't know about at the bar. If you go up to the bar, it might be a charge for a Coke or something.
But maybe not, because people come all the time and get... I don't drink soda, so
yeah.
I don't know. All right. So...
Thanks, Robin.
Thanks, Robin. That's cool. Bye-bye. Let me see. Where are we?